What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, folks? All right, in the house today. Everything is okay. All right, all right. Yeah, it's Uncle REG live on this Friday. You gotta talk about it. Got like Nick Fuentes got his own post because got banned from YouTube after 12 days. 12 days in. 12 days in. Back on YouTube. After YouTube, welcome back. They got hit again. And I think they were doing some shanky shit. I think a lot of people tired of Alex Jones anyway. But and Nick Fuentes, I mean, people think that he's not, racist. So come on now, man, stop it, stop it, stop it. But they both got hit. It's crazy out here. The YouTube street. Not only that, other people got hit too. Gonna talk about that. Got to talk about P Diddy hearing how that went down. Metro Boomin. Trump signed executive order for TikTok. You know, transfer ownership. We talk about a lot of stuff. So what's going on? What's going on? We got cynical one. Okay, cynical one in the house. All right. It's the only one I see so far. Let's see. Yeah, that's about it. I'm streaming on both channels, so you're not over there, Uncle REG Celebrity News, no Uncle REG Daily News. So on both channels today. Probably do that Sunday. I gotta pick which one I'm gonna go, because that's I always do the rant. So I'll probably just do this Uncle REG Daily News on that. But anyway, yeah, it seems like you doing it. I'm seeing probably get started hearing some usual beef going on out there with Mahogany and them and Warren and all that. And hey, I'm glad I don't have those problems anymore. Shoot. Hey man, I ain't got to worry about those stuff. I try to blame me for that, this, and that. I ain't got to worry about none of that now. I do the news in peace. Might get into goddamn drama. Had to do with trial and shit and all that shit. I ain't got to do that. Fights and fighting back and forth with individuals for all for nothing because all for a different opinion. Crazy. Motherfuckers trying to threaten each other on here, want to fight. I don't do none of that. I can sit back and watch them go down the tube in flames. Hey, sometimes you just have to just let it go. Let it go. Pull back, start over and stuff. That's how you do it. Sometimes you just, when it's the universe says it ain't for you, it ain't for you. And the universe will put it in your face until you get it. You got to go this way. You can't go this route no more. This is no good. Give you all the signs and stuff, but you don't listen, and then it's gonna get worse for you. So hey, I'm out. I'm glad too. I drink less and all that, and I got all that added stress and whatever. I guess I had, and oh shit, yeah, I feel good. Yes, watching the other motherfuckers crash out on here is crazy, man. I just be in the clouds just listening. Get all that, fuck that. I ain't doing it. But anyway, man, we gonna get into this. Um, First thing I want to talk about is Trump. Trump signed executive order for TikTok to move forward with the transfer of majority ownership of the app to the Americans. So they did. Apparently, they was able to make a deal with the Chinese, basically make a deal with Chinese, even though ByteDance is the company they went through Chinese. That shit belongs to the Chinese government, basically. So what was happening is that American, well, I think it was Oracle or President Oracle, and somebody else. I think they own the majority shares of the stock, which is over 80%. And then ByteDance, whose previous owner only owned 20. You know, so they still get money off the back end. They still get money. You know, but yeah. So they building this new app with the algorithm that was supposed to be promised to them. I don't want to know how much they paid for it. Paid for the algorithm. So they must have paid some money for this. Well, we'll know once we see next year debt on a debt clock. You say, okay, where this extra 500 billion came from or some shit. Oh, that's you pay for TikTok. You know, maybe it didn't cost that much. Maybe 200 billion or some shit like that. I don't do. Well, that's a lot, man. Maybe I'm going to exaggerate. Maybe I'll say 100, close to 100. Maybe for that app, because you're gonna make trillions. You see it? So maybe my estimates is not wrong. Maybe they're off. But anyway, you'll see on the debt clock. You say, well, okay, what's that money come from? How is this? Okay, you know, because they got to put it on the books. You just can't just make a sale. Government can't make a sale and just put it off books where they can, but still, they have to that much money going out. Remember, that's the taxpayer money they pay with. Unless Oracle and all of them guys came together and just made an offer too. I'm just saying, I don't know, but were able to make the deal, and they have a board members have a board of 7 folks. 6 of them is American, and other 7, other one is one of the Binance members. Excuse me. So I guess he's trying to oversee, see if it works and all that stuff. So Americans is gonna have their TikTok. You don't have to worry about it being, going dark on you, and you won't have no employment. Because a lot of people make money on TikTok and stuff, especially now in these times. It's kind of hard. You know, you have a job, and then now you finally, you got a job on TikTok, or you have a business and you're using TikTok to, for advertisement or whatever. Now people don't have to worry. Things still change, but the question that I have to ask is the algorithm gonna work like the algorithm from the TikTok that's up there now? Because once they finalize the deal, everybody's gonna have to get off of that and go sign up with the other site, because they're gonna close down that site to America. That is now. Everybody else that's not in America is going to be still using the old TikTok. You see what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I think they didn't give. Something suspicious about this. Why would a company, I mean, not a company and the Chinese government give up a precious algorithm? I just don't see it. I'm just saying. Now, if it has some glitches, it doesn't work as well, and people don't see the views that they used to get or the engagement used to get anymore. That's why, why. Trump just wanted to make the deal. Trump don't care. He just want to make the deal and stuff. And so he can say that I saw the TikTok deal, the TikTok debacle. I got I'm doing all these peace deals around the world, this and that and the third. I'm solving the problem of the economy, inflation down, interest rates are down. We're doing good in this country. That's all he wants. So when he go out with a bang, you know. But it doesn't mean he's really actually doing a deal where it's going to be beneficial in the long run. We don't know that. We have to see how. I'm not on TikTok. Every time I got on TikTok, they won't let me on. They want to charge me money to promote my videos. See, that's why I say your reputation travels with you to other sites. I put a video up. It was getting some views at first, but then they shut me down. Man, it's just like, what the fuck, man. I guess they just want the weak-minded people on there. I guess the young ones. Anybody that's talking some sense, I guess, it's maybe a threat. Anyway, that's all I have for that. Um, Next thing I gotta talk about is what the P Diddy hearing went down yesterday. Whether he was gonna, whether the judge was gonna drop the convictions that was on him or get a new trial. So the judge heard both sides and stuff like that, and he was trying to prove the Mad Act was used unlawfully against P. Diddy and stuff. What he was doing was more of pornography and stuff like that. You know, First he was saying personal use, but now he said what I was doing is more pornography, so there was no um, sex trafficking going on and stuff. There was no violation of the Mann Act, which is crazy. So you was doing pornography, okay, but ain't you can get in trouble for doing pornography, especially you got girls that's underage, right? Right. Yeah, and you have to have a certain license, right? I'm just saying. But anyway, the judge said that well, everybody was hoping that he make a decision yesterday, and P Diddy would be free and stuff. That's not gonna happen. What he did, he said, "I'm gonna make my decision on this hearing Friday." You know what day Friday is? Next month, October the 3rd, the day of the sentencing. So he gonna tell you the decision you made Friday and do the sentencing at the same time. People think, and the defense won't okay, drop the conviction and do time served, so he'll get out immediately. Like the judge is going to do that. What's up? Oh, hold on. God damn. Hold on. All right. Let's see where you at. Okay, over here. Yeah, so everybody was outside the courthouse yesterday, hoping that the judge free P Diddy basically again. When I knew that was going to happen, So October 3rd, man, it's gonna be packed. I mean, we're gonna be there probably a day before to stand in line. The line setters out there, man, they're gonna see this. 'Cause this is it. That's gonna be a wild day. We have to get ready for that because whatever the verdict is, but I don't think the judge is gonna give him any time served or anything. He gonna give him a full sentence. He gonna hit him with the book, and that's gonna be something, man. But that'd be something if the judge said, "Okay, yeah, I'll let him go free." I'll give him 1 year and some shit, 2 years and stuff. With time certain, he get out in 1 month. Oh man, it's gonna be people gonna be all the P Diddy detractors, not the detractors, all the P Diddy supporters is gonna be just having a party, man. It's gonna be block parties up and down, but it's gonna be bad for the victims of P Diddy. Very bad, very bad. I don't think that's gonna happen. I just don't think that's gonna happen. And I think it's all bad for P Diddy. I think it's all bad for P Diddy, for real though. The question is how many years they're gonna give him. They can give him a max of 10, but then they could actually give him 20 too. Because there was cases, in other cases like his case where that person got 20. So it can go down either way. But him just getting off and stuff like that, all this stuff. Because you're not dealing with no jury now, you're dealing with the judge. And the judge did not like it when the jury dismissed the other two charges. So long. All the stuff P. Diddy was doing, his son was doing outside the court and stuff, passing messages and all this stuff was happening. P. Diddy, he had enough of him. So this is it, folks. We don't got that long, man. A week, less than a week. Friday to Friday was 1 week. Basically, that's it, folks. That's it. And we had a couple other trials. Apparently, 6ix9ine, Tekashi 6ix9ine, I guess. He was in a courtroom around the corner getting tried. I guess he broke his probation or something, and I guess he got to go back to jail or something. Then you have Metro Boomin, which is he was found not liable of sexual assault by this young woman that claimed that he raped her in a Los Angeles hotel in 2016. She couldn't prove enough evidence that he did the deed, apparently. So he got off. That's good. I'm glad one person got off, man, because it's like every rapper, if you get in trouble, and you get in trouble off of this sexual assault, sexual misconduct, sexual battery, whatever. It's just getting in trouble with this. Just like, I don't know, maybe you need to start, picking the right girls, or if the guy got a problem, then you might need to go get some help or something. Sexual assault women and stuff. But I'm glad one brother got off, man. Just to see one person got off, it's cool, because you don't want that on your jacket. And a lot of these brothers out here that's famous and stuff are starting to get that now. The young ones and the old ones and stuff. It seems like that's what they be hitting a lot of these black males that have a lot of money. That's that's stars, rappers, football players, basketball players, anybody that's famous, got a name for themselves. They hitting you with this now. Because that's one thing that gets you only is the women. His weakness is women. you got to tighten up, man. That's all I can say. Tighten this shit up, man, because coming at you. There's so many women you can't trust either, because they might just feel that they didn't get enough from you when they was with you, so they want more. So now, or they just want to just put this take on you to mess you up, so you won't have nothing. Sick game out here, man. Sick game. But anyway, we got to get on to this Fuentes, Alex Jones. Gonna play a couple videos. They both got banned from YouTube after only 12 hours being on here. And I'm telling you, it's crazy. We got the. But I'm gonna play this first because Google actually is gonna reinstate banned YouTube accounts that were censored for political speech. And this is a big thing. A lot of people didn't know this. It kind of went under people's radar. But most of y'all was doing political speech, so if y'all got banned for something else, this doesn't apply to you. It only applies to ones who got banned for political speech. And that's actually Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes, but they broke some other laws, and that's why they are out of here too. But I'm gonna play this right now so you can hear it. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, I forgot I have to. Yeah, it's not like the other one. It's another like Streamlabs. I could just play it and it comes through the speaker. Okay, let me hold on. I got to start this over again. All right. Now we got now let's play it. Now let's listen to this. Okay.
Google to reinstate banned YouTube accounts censored for political speech. Tech giant admits Biden administration press platform to remove COVID-19 content. First on Fox, Google vowed on to offer YouTube accounts that were permanently banned for political speech the ability to be reinstated, and the big tech giant admitted that it once faced pressure from the Biden administration to remove content about COVID-19. Google detailed its remarkable shift in a document, first obtained by Fox News Digital, that a lawyer for the company provided to the House Judiciary Committee. The new policy from Google, also known by its parent company Alphabet, could affect both average users and well-known figures like FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino, White House counterterrorism chief Sebastian Gorka, and War Room podcast host Steve Bannon, all of whom were permanently banned in recent years for COVID-19 or election-related content. Reflecting the company's commitment to free expression, YouTube will provide an opportunity for all creators to rejoin the platform if the company terminated their channels for repeated violations of COVID-19 and elections integrity policies that are no longer in effect, the lawyer representing Google wrote. Bongino ended his conservative radio show, which live-streamed on Rumble, when he joined the administration this year.
Yeah, a lot of people on Rumble. A lot of these guys that's, you can say, they're controversial, politically controversial. You can say controversial as far as race, as far as, you could say gender, the gender war, black woman, yes, black man. All of them is on Rumble. Now, some of them came back from Rumble, like Obsidian, YouTube, brung him back, brung, I guess, the other guy, Tito, Black Pill, all those guys. A lot of them came back except for Tommy. I think that he just broke too many rules. It's too much. They can't just trust him. He just broke every rule. You can imagine. So he's the only one that's not coming back. He seems like he's in the same boat with Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones. If they do bring him back, I'd be surprised. But they even brought back Cynthia G and stuff. She was going in, something fierce on men and stuff. But it seems like a lot of people's coming back. So hey, it is what it is. But anyway, let's continue.
He has attributed his popularity on that platform to permanently losing his YouTube account in 2022. YouTube permanently banned Bongino, who had one of the most followed accounts on the platform, for spreading what it said was COVID-19 misinformation about masks. The document from Google also noted that YouTube values conservative voices on its platform and acknowledged that the creators have extensive reach and play an important role in civic discourse. The document included a section about the Biden administration and said White House officials at the time pushed Google behind the scenes to remove perceived misinformation related to COVID-19. The lawyer for Google also noted that the big tech platform censored content independently of the Biden administration based on its internal policies, but that the company has since rolled back those policies. Senior Biden administration officials, including White House officials, conducted repeated and sustained outreach to Alphabet and pressed the company regarding certain user-generated content related to the COVID-19 pandemic that did not violate its policies.
Yeah, you understand, a lot of content creators got their channel hit because of COVID. They were saying mostly the ones that were against it, taking a vaccine. A lot of them lost their channel. So a lot of them are starting to get their channel back. You know, I don't know how long this process is going to take, but it's I'm sure that some ones you've seen that lost their channel will end up get their channel reinstated and stuff. You know, which is good. Remember, this is all coming from the Biden administration. You know, Google faced pressure for the Biden administration to remove content about COVID-19. That's why they had that big. Every time you talked about COVID, it had this big warning thing on your video. Yeah, you know, this is talking about COVID. Remember that? I mean, for y'all, the content creators, that is, or some of y'all, will watch content. You'll know what I'm talking about. But anyway, let's continue.
Lawyer wrote. The administration created a political atmosphere that sought to influence the actions of platforms based on their concerns regarding misinformation, the lawyer added. Reach for comment. A Google spokesperson told Fox News Digital it did not have anything more to add besides what was in the document. Google's revelations came in response to a years-long Republican-led investigation by the committee into big tech companies, including Google, that censored and suppressed content on their platforms related to COVID-19, the 2020 election, and Hunter Biden. YouTube's posture follows Meta similarly shifting last year toward denouncing the Biden administration's pressure tactics, which were well documented in emails provided to the committee. Meta revealed at the time that it was doing away with third-party fact-checkers, a move then President Joe Biden called really shameful. YouTube has not used outside fact-checkers and vowed that it will not empower fact-checkers to take action on or label content on the platform. Parallel to the congressional investigations was a lawsuit brought by 2 Republican attorneys general over social media censorship. Discovery in that case largely mirrored what the committee uncovered. The Supreme Court ultimately did not decide on the merits of the case, Murphy v. Missouri, and instead found that the plaintiffs lacked standing to bring it. But the lower courts had largely sided with the plaintiffs, including a judge who found the federal government seemed to have assumed a role similar to an Orwellian Ministry of Truth. The High Court's decision disappointed Republicans, who had hoped for a landmark ruling that social media companies' censorship practices violate the First Amendment. The case also explored jawboning, which involves the government pressuring private companies to censor their speech. The term jawboning has resurfaced in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, after ABC late-night host Jimmy Kimmel suggested on his show that the suspect Tyler Robinson was.
So the Biden administration actually was, they were doing some bullshit. But we told you that it was bad, and there was a lot of people that was talking about COVID. It was him. It was him all along. Some people said, "Oh, it wasn't." It wasn't, especially the ones who was, Democrats that were supporting the Biden administration. They said Biden couldn't do no wrong. Well, now we know that Biden was putting pressure to censor a whole group of people up on here. And then after a while, YouTube, couldn't take chances. So if you said anything about COVID too off, too far, too raw, boom, the video got taken down. You didn't have to be, you didn't have to be a political pundit or whatever to have a channel that just talk about politics. You just talk about it too much, too hard. They'll take your video down.
Was a member of the MAGA gang. Authorities have said Robinson felt Kirk spread hate and that he engraved his bullet casings with gamer-inspired anti-fascist messaging. Kimmel also repeatedly expressed sympathies for Kirk's family and condemned the shooting. Still, ABC and owners of its affiliate stations suspended Kimmel's show. ABC lifted its suspension beginning, but one of the affiliate owners, Sinclair Broadcast Group, said it will continue to replace Kimmel with other programming. Concerns with jawboning arose because Federal Communications Commission Chairman Brendan Carr made a veiled threat about Kimmel's remarks ahead of ABC pulling him off air. The FCC is regulatory authority over broadcasting networks, including ABC, but still must abide by the First Amendment. Frankly, when you see stuff like this, we can do this the easy way or the hard way, Carr told conservative podcaster Benny Johnson. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead. In addition to these censorship concessions, Google also criticized the European Union's Digital Services Act and Digital Markets Act and told the House Judiciary Committee it will remain vigilant in the face of legal obligations from other countries. The EU laws have drawn bipartisan scrutiny in Congress over concerns the foreign laws will force big tech companies to follow more expansive regulations and to ramp up content moderation in a way that could affect American users. Google agreed on that the EU laws place a disproportionate regulatory burden on American companies.
Okay, that's it on that. So, in that. And then we're going to have to talk, okay, we know that Alex Jones, just what we're talking about, and Nick Fuentes both got banned from YouTube. Some conflicts want to play first. I'm going to play this one first. Only 10 minutes. I might not play the whole thing, but I want to play this one first because a lot of people was doing videos talking about this, and somebody had to put their 2 cents in it, begging YouTube to bring back Nick and Alex. He did a video. Maybe you should play that next. No, I'm gonna play this one first. Okay, here we go.
I could tell you it had a wild...
Okay, now this is Alex Jones. Okay, this is before he got kicked off. This is a recent. This motherfucker got a Hitler mustache on. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. And people are like, hey man, we're gonna tell you like, oh no, oh they not racist, and stuff. Why you got a Hitler type mustache on here? What is this about? You tell me. You know, that's why he got kicked off. Shit. But anyway, let's go.
Effect on women. I thought they were about to start throwing their panties at me.
MAGA podcasters and far-right lunatics Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones just instantly found out after YouTube thwarted their attempted comeback to the site. And as if their past and ongoing consequences weren't justification enough to do this instantly, just wait till you see the BS they were on today.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Thursday, September 25th, 2025. Now, obviously, everybody watching is only thinking about my mustache right now.
And hey, if you appreciate free, non-hate speech on the internet, be sure to smash...
Damn, I'm bugging out on this. Why this motherfucker... Come on, man. Really? Really? Just because, you know, you got Trump in, they really, it's not, you know, they're not holding back nothing now, man. They coming out, showing you who they really are, man. Some of these white nationalists, white racists, whatever, Christian nationalists. You don't care. Oh, we can say what we want to say now. Oh, okay. That means everybody else got the right to say what they want to say too. They got to realize too. You just ain't got the right to say anything, but anybody else that don't look like you got to say, they can say anything they want to say. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna say they wrong? I don't know. You're on a slippery slope here.
that like button and subscribe. Now, we'll get to Alex Jones's Hitler mustache purportedly having a wild effect on women in just a second, because it ties in nicely to Donald Trump getting compared to Hitler at the UN by Colombia's president. But let's quickly break down the...
So I guess so the women like his mustache. So that tells you about the women that is... That tells you a lot about some of the women that they're listening to him. Where their mind is at. But anyway.
YouTube situation here first. Nick Fuentes, the far-right figure most feared by MAGA, was reinstated on YouTube after years of censorship, but less than a day later, he was gone. Fuentes, the 27-year-old white nationalist live streamer, launched a new YouTube channel yesterday, shortly after YouTube announced that it would begin allowing previously banned accounts to appeal for reinstatement. And that stems from the platform's move to roll back Biden-era speech policies on vaccines and political misinformation that was hailed by Republicans as a win for free expression. But it wasn't long before the platform began attracting once fringe figures like Fuentes, whose original channel, America First with Nicholas J. Fuentes, was banned in 2021 for repeat violations of the platform's hate speech policy. So YouTube removed Fuentes' channel along with Alex Jones just hours after they'd been reinstated. In a statement, YouTube said, "We've seen some previously terminated creators try to start new channels. To clarify, our pilot program on terminations is not yet open. It's still against our community guidelines for previously terminated users to use, possess..."
So that's why they got hit. They got hit because if you been terminated, you can't put up... Back in the day, you got terminated, you just put up another channel. Simple as that. No problem. Keep it going. Keep it going. And people did that for a long time. Tommy did that for a long time. That's why motherfucker had so many channels. But now you can't do that. If you get terminated, you're going to have to wait and go through the process. And then they will tell you you can put up another channel. And this is what happened to them. And that's why you see a lot of people like Tommy or some other people like that. Other people won't be on here because they've violated this policy right here. You can't keep putting up channels after you got initially terminated or banned from here. It's not going to work. They ain't going for it like the old days, because motherfuckers had like backup channel on top of backup channels and stuff. Just one go down, put the other one up, still doing it. They had that monetized, and you already got fans, so you know you get monetization quick. They stopped all that. But anyway, let's continue.
Or create other channels, and will terminate new channels from previously terminated users in accordance with these guidelines. We'll have more to share on the limited pilot program soon. Personally, I am very glad YouTube acted so swiftly to keep these neo-Nazis and Sandy Hook deniers off of the platform, but given the current right-wing cancel culture and the media landscape we find ourselves in, I wouldn't be shocked if YouTube actually considered letting these people back. And that would be extremely shocking, especially given what Alex Jones did on his show today. Take a look at this.
Now, obviously, everybody watching...
Look at this fool. He did this, was it 23 hours in this video? So he did it, maybe 10 hours ago or whatever. Look, just tell you what they thinking, man. Shit, they feeling bolder now. When would you see any type of white commentator, political commentator, white commentator in the news come on there with a Hitler mustache, knowing what it represents and stuff like that? Come on, man. They be out of here, they be canceled, they be wiped out. But here, they get away with it somewhat, I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, let's continue.
Is only thinking about my mustache right now. You are not thinking about all the incredible earth-shaking news I'm about to cover.
When I first saw this, I thought it was Halloween. I said, well, we're all coming up to Halloween. Shit, what are you talking about? I was like, right around the corner. Shit. Yeah. Shit. He just doing it early, that's all. Charles Willie, what's up? What's going on? Glad to see you. Glad to see Charles Willie up in the house. Let me get her. All right. let's continue.
That's because as a species, or really any species, we go off the way things look, you know, the colorations of things. What's on a butterfly? What's on a snake? The patterns out there. That's what we have. And so after World War II, for the last 80 years, everything has been a paradigm of, is it Hitlerian or is it Captain America? And the left in Europe and the United States and the UK and Australia, New Zealand, they've continued on the psychology of World War II. They then say that white men are Hitler. Christianity is Hitler. Hillary said a few days ago, we have these evil white men that are...
Well, I don't know if Christianity is Hitler, but it seemed like a lot of the Christians, it seemed like they siding with the ideology of Nazism or nationalism, whatever you want to call it nowadays. Christian nationalists. So I can see why somebody might attach Christianity to racism or white supremacy or whatever. Interesting.
Christians, and they're the problem with the world. And of course, she's called Trump Hitler. So have all the other Democrats over and over again. That's the bottom line. And so that's why I'm doing this social experiment, I think, for just a few days.
Okay, so this was a social experiment, but it got him kicked back off of YouTube. Why you need to do a social experiment like this? What was the reason? What are you trying to do? Apparently, you saw the women must like the mustache, so it got you more play with the women. I guess what else social experiment you was looking for? I mean, results you were looking for from this social experiment? I want to know that. Anyway, let's continue.
But I don't know. I went to a gas station. I went in a grocery store this morning, and it was spectacular. Being a white guy that has German features, classical German features, and with a Hitler mustache, and it was very interesting. I could tell you it had a wild effect on women. I thought they were about to start throwing their panties at me. And they didn't know why. They were looking at me because most modern women, even young ones, don't really even know even what Hitler is, but they in the back of their head, they know what it is. So they got a guy with, kind of Lex Luthor meets Adolf Hitler looks with blue eyes, and they just didn't know what to do. They're like melting. So I don't know, maybe I should, for a while, just as a social experiment, keep the mustache. What's everybody think?
Yeah, that's Alex Jones, the guy who denied the Sandy Hook shooting, got sued to oblivion for it, explaining how women allegedly melted over his Hitler mustache at a gas station. And I'll put the full clip of this insane rant at the end of this video if you actually want to lose some brain cells. But he also opened it with a montage of Hitler in the background of him, and
yeah, Charles Willie, that's just crazy, man. I'm bugged out on that too. I'm like, what the hell? Okay. Oh man, it's crazy. These white boys are losing their mind, man, out here, man. They're losing their mind out here, man. What's going on with them?
in Nazi Germany. And before we move on to Trump getting called Hitler at the UN, just listen to how he admitted and explained that this stash social experiment came about in the first place.
So I cut the beard off. I'm gonna go with a mustache. And again, I was gonna go hike with my workout partner, Sean Johnson. He saw it, started laughing. He said, he couldn't quit laughing. And I go, what? He goes, dude, you look like a pedo. It's ridiculous. He goes, you got to cut that off. He goes, here, let's call my fiance up and see what she thinks. So he FaceTimes her. She goes, yeah, you lose it. And I said, all right, well, we were going to hike around my house today. There's a big green belt there. I said, let me go in the bathroom. He goes, wait, don't go Hitler. At least let me see it. It'd be a great stunt as a joke. I started thinking, I was like, yeah, like a social experiment. Maybe just do it for a few days. And I go trim it, walk back out of the bathroom. He goes, damn, no, we got to take this stash back, call it the Jones now. This is a good looking mustache. He goes, you ought to keep that. So that's how this happens. I may keep this for 6 months, actually, because I'm already the devil.
He's going to keep it 6 months, but this You remember, he just got back on YouTube, and this whole social experiment, made him lose some more money. Remember, he had one of the biggest podcasts on YouTube, for real. I mean, him, Nick Fuentes, they was getting big numbers on here, man. And now, that's gone. That's gone. But we're gonna play Nick Fuentes' video last. He's gonna explain why they actually got kicked off and what really happened too. But anyway, let's go.
I'm already Satan. I'm already all these things I never did. And also, I've never supported Hitler. And I oppose all forms of totalitarian systems. I was the worst totalitarian in history, but he's right up there in the top 3 or 4.
Chip actually made a video covering all of Donald Trump's speech at the UN the other day. Definitely go check that out. But here is just a part of the blistering attack against Trump that Colombia's president, Gustavo Petro, embarked on that reportedly made some members of the U.S. delegation walk out of the assembly hall.
Were used to stop drug trafficking. That is a lie. Was it really on unarmed, poor young people in the Caribbean? The anti-policy is not meant to stop cocaine that is coming to the United States. The anti-drug policy is to dominate the peoples of the South as a whole. This forum is a mute witness to a side in a world where we thought that this was something only a legacy of Hitler. And so they led this anti-drug policy from Washington. I don't know if Trump even knows that his foreign policy towards Colombia, Venezuela, and towards the Caribbean is based on advice from Colombians who are allies of the cocaine mafia. I myself denounced these politicians, including the paramilitaries, drug traffickers, and naming them by their names in the Congress of Colombia when I was senator, and many times they wanted to kill me because of that. With apologies to those who dominate the United Nations, there should be criminal cases against those officials of the United States for doing this, including the utmost official, President Trump, that allowed the shooting of missiles against these young people who were simply trying to escape poverty. Only they can stop this domination by the United States. The people.
See, they didn't play this part. They only played the part. This is the UN commission that's going on that Trump was at, where when he was there giving his speech, the escalator broke down and the teleprompter didn't work for some reason. Now this thing is still going on, and nobody's been reporting on a lot of what the other countries saying about the United States and the policies and the trade war and all that stuff. Him actually becoming a dictator, their grievances with, Gaza, because a lot of them recognize Gaza or Palestine as a state. And Israel, say hell no. As long as I'm in power, Palestine would not be recognized as a state. This is basically what he said. So there's gonna be some problems. I don't see how there's gonna be any type of peace between the Palestine people and Israel. I think that even if Hamas give up all the hostages and stuff and like that, and and go their way or whatever, they'll still try. They want that land. They want that piece of land. And Trump came out and actually said that Israel have to stop it. That was unprecedented. What Trump said, because usually they was down with Israel, but now Trump's saying you got to stop Israel. You got to stop, because it's gonna make him look bad across the whole world if you let this go down. There's a serious humanity crisis going on over there, and it's really happening right in front of our face. I mean, do you want peace? I thought peace was the way, but apparently for some people, peace ain't the way. Israel don't seem like they don't want no peace, but everybody else do. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. But anyway, let's see.
People who have taken to the streets in California, in New York, in Philadelphia, where the Liberty Bell stands, in spite of the National Guard that Trump sends out against its own people to shut them up, to the states that are free. These states are no longer uniting their efforts in the face of tyranny. The President of the United States does not know that 1 million Latin Americans have died, the largest share of them from Colombia. And another 1 million will die in North America in 10 years because of fentanyl. That is the outcome of 30 years by the United States of a policy that is absurd and that is leading its society to the horrific death due to drugs that kill the brain. And in this situation, Trump not only allows missiles to be fired at young people in the Caribbean, does not only imprison migrants, but also allows missiles to be killed against children, women, and old people in Gaza. He is an accomplice to side in a world where we thought that this was something only a legacy of Hitler.
And that is only a small snippet of the very lengthy speech he gave railing against the United States, the war on drugs, the utter failure, Donald Trump's missile attacks in the Caribbean, and comparing him directly to Hitler, which when you see things like this, for all the fucking snowflakes that are like, stop saying you were Hitler, stop saying we're the Nazis, well, stop acting like them.
Yeah. So that's one thing about the right they've been doing. They'll be saying, you always call us Hitler, you always call us this, you always call us that. But then you have Alex Jones come out and do this. That's why they ban him off of YouTube. I want to know what Angry Man had to say about this. Nick Fuentes. Oh, we know with Nick Fuentes, he don't care. He agreed with what Alex Jones did. But anyway, let me end this. We got to play Mickey Ramaswamy. He has something to say about Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes getting banned off of YouTube again. Okay, we have Blue Marvel up here. What's up, Blue Marvel? What's going on, man? What's going on? He said, Nick Fuentes, who is claiming to be white supremacist even though he's half. Yeah, yes, that's crazy, ain't it? What's up with that? I thought the white race want pure people, pure folks. What happened? I guess they can't get pure folks anymore. Interesting. Ah! Hold on real quick. Hold on. Let me get a refill. Hold on. right, I'm back. So now let's go ahead and play this. We got to play this. This is crazy. Okay, this is your man here, Vicky Ramaswamy. You know where his allegiance is at now, and why you caping for a white nationalist. You know, come on, really?
Frankly, I probably could have called you privately, but I think it's better to just talk about this in the open on this particular issue. My understanding is in the last 24 hours, you locked the accounts and shut down the accounts of two guys, Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones. They have big followings on the American right. I think it's better if you just unlock those accounts and let the guys be heard. Mm-hmm. And I say this not because I'm some particular fan or vice versa. At least one of them, Nick, is probably not a particularly big fan of mine. No more than Jimmy Kimmel is, by the way, for very different reasons. That's beside the point.
Okay, so but why are you caping for them then? You're not a fan. You're not a fan of theirs. Why you keep caping for them then? I don't understand this. All on behalf of freedom of speech for the right. They say what they say bullshit that you probably agree with about minorities and LGBTQ and others. That you feel that might be inferior. I don't know. Listen to you.
Point, it doesn't matter. The reason I'm asking you to do it is that censorship isn't good for America. It's antithetical to our culture. And we're the country on God's green earth where we're able to talk to each other in the open. And I want to credit YouTube and Google and your parent company and so much of your competitors in Silicon Valley for creating the first instance of the free and open internet with search engines. It's a beautiful thing for democratizing speech. But I think we take a step in the wrong direction when we choke those same technologies that allow us to access open debate and open ideas.
This is okay. Charlie said he's still running for office. I see. Yeah, I guess so. They won't pick him. Trust me. He don't have the complexion. Come on, they're not gonna pick him. Really, he can try. Only one man. He forget.
It breeds discontent. It breeds frustration. It actually breeds mistrust. If you tell people they can't speak, that's when they scream. And if you tell people they can't scream, that's when they tear things down. So I think free speech is a precondition for peace. It's a precondition for the scientific method. It's a precondition for our shared unity, our shared national identity as Americans. Now, I can understand why you might think that certain types of speech or certain things that are said that are hurtful to other people or that may spread misinformation or may they count as violent or dangerous threats shouldn't be allowed on your platform. I personally take a broad view of what type of speech is an expression of an opinion that's protected, but that's a separate discussion about whether somebody says a particular thing that you think doesn't belong on your platform. That's one category.
Okay, now Arizona just came out on his channel that was on YouTube with a Hitler mustache. What do you think that signified? Somebody should need to ask him that. I'm just saying.
Of speech moderation. There's a different category of saying that you may demonetize certain people. You're not going to pay them. That even if they're able to speak on your platform, it's not necessarily their right to be paid for doing so or putting advertisers next to their name. That's a separate discussion. Personally, I don't like any of those forms of speech.
Now, I want to know, ask him a question. What if these individuals, Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes, start talking real bad about Indian people? What you gonna do? You gonna still say that they right? They have their opinion still? I mean, real Greece, like they be talking Greece about black people, or you gonna sit back? I know your people won't sit back and take that shit. Or would you? Just to get the piece of American pie. Question. that I would ask him. Anyway, let's continue.
Suppression as a general matter, but at least those are discussions that reasonable minds can have. There's a whole separate third category of censorship, though, that I think is particularly harmful, which is the idea that just because of who you are, your name and who you are, you don't get to express any idea, whether it's misinformation, hateful speech, whether it's dangerous or whatever you deem it to be. Irrespective of that, you're not making that judgment. Just based on who you are, you don't get to speak. I think that breeds mistrust. I don't think that's good for our country. There's legal arguments to be had. I've made legal arguments elsewhere in my books, in Wall Street Journal pieces, and there are legal arguments that you could construct that say that if a tech company is protected by Section 230, a government-created shield of immunity, that if a tech company is responding, even indirectly, to the threats of government officials, maybe that is actually even a legal First Amendment violation. That's not even what I'm talking about right now. What I'm talking about is not a legal point, it's just a cultural point. It's the question of whether this is good or bad for America. And I think we live in a moment right now where when we tell people...
Hold on.
But whether it's the government or even a powerful company, when you tell people that because of who you are, you deserve not to be heard, I think that actually divides us. Even if it's done with the best of intentions, of thinking it brings most of the rest of the country together, in the long run, it actually throws kerosene on the very flame you were trying to quash. And so that's my ask to you. I'm not trying to do this in some type of...
This ain't freedom of speech. They want the freedom of speech, the spirit of hate speech. That's what they want. They want to say exactly what they want. They're getting tired not to say what they want. They want to say exactly what they want all the time without no backlash. All that's going to cause is problems. Race problems. We can lead to violence. No. They don't want to get counter terminated for hate speech no more. They want to say the hateful stuff. That's why they're behind Charlie Kirk, because he was an advocate for that. Even though it's harsh, I still got the right to say what I want to say. Not if it's offending people, you saying some ridiculous stuff. No. That's insane. But anyway, let's continue.
Of faux indignation, angry way that escalates some political fight. That's not the goal. I actually think that it's often possible to get to the right answer through just reasonable, open dialogue. That's what I hope this is. I hope you're able to reconsider a decision that you made that may have been a wrong decision. And I think we need more space as a country when people do make a wrong decision to be able to be given an off-ramp, to be able to say that, you know what, after thinking about it, yeah, we agree, we're persuaded that all else equal, even though we intended well, we ought to let people speak and be heard. That's what I hope happens here. And so my ask is, and again, speaking as a guy who, from Jimmy Kimmel to Nick Fuentes, probably don't like me very much. I don't care. That doesn't matter. It's not what this is about. It's not even about the content. It's about the principle. I'd ask you to restore the accounts of those guys, and believe me, it will be a down payment on beginning to reunite this country, a project on which we have yet a very...
That's not reuniting the country. Come on, man. Not these dudes. Come on, man. Dude walking around here with a Hitler mustache as a social experiment to see what kind of response he gonna get. Come on, man. You know what it's about. They doubling down at this point on what they're saying. Come on, stop it. This fool. Hey, don't trust this fool. Don't listen to what this fool got to say about anything. That's why he lost. We run for president and shit. Jeez, come on, man, stop it. But anyway, I think that's enough of that. Now we got to play the Nick Fuentes. Now he's going to explain what happened. This is on Rumble. I got off of Rumble, so we're going to listen to that. So we actually know why he got banned from YouTube, him and Alex Jones. So let me go ahead and go ahead.
So as you know, earlier in the week, YouTube, Alphabet, the parent company for YouTube, came out with a statement, and this was published by Representative Jim Jordan from Congress. And they said that YouTube is renewing its commitment to free expression. They said that they are going to start to review and then reinstate YouTube channels that were previously terminated around 2020. Now, there's an important distinction, because what YouTube said specifically is that they were under pressure from the Biden administration, which began in 2021. They were under pressure from the Biden administration from 2021 onward to censor opinions about COVID, about Ukraine, the election, and other political issues.
Yeah, but it had nothing to do with hate speech. And hate speech to others. That's why they got banned. They had nothing to do with political things. You know? Or Alex Jones could have been that part too, because he was against the COVID. So that might apply to him, but it don't apply to Nick.
So YouTube didn't say it's a free-for-all. They didn't say we're reinstating everybody. They didn't say it's going to become free speech like Twitter, like X. YouTube, in their letter to Jim Jordan, said that we were under political pressure from the Biden White House in 2021 to censor certain opinions. They said we wrongfully terminated those accounts. We acknowledge that, and we're going to undo the suspensions. Now, Jim Jordan took that policy statement and blew it up and said, guys, YouTube is unsuspending everybody. He literally said in his tweet, they're unsuspending all accounts. All accounts was the word. And everybody was under the impression that YouTube had free speech. Now, I was immediately skeptical because I read the statement, and the statement is what it is. It didn't say we're letting everybody back on. It didn't say free speech would be the new policy. The specific claim they made is there was political pressure to wrongfully terminate based on opinion. Now, YouTube has terminated accounts for other reasons, like hate speech and conspiracy theories and a load of other things. And they had been doing that before the Biden administration applied political pressure. So the question is YouTube only reinstating the accounts they terminated after 2021? Or will they be reviewing the suspensions of people that were terminated before 2021?
No, they're not going to do the ones that after. I mean, before. I don't think so, because that's a lot of us that got hit. That's a lot of people that got hit. Not just him, the right and stuff. It's people that, you know, that was just had their opinion about COVID and stuff like that, or other political things that was going on at the time, or maybe they're just talking bad about Biden. No. They're only going to reinstate those ones, you know, that it had to do with COVID. That's what I was thinking. That's what I got out of what I read. Not nothing else. But anyway, let's continue.
Are they only going to reinstate accounts that were banned for misinformation, or will they unsuspend other YouTube accounts too? The question is, what exactly is the new standard? And how And when will those accounts begin to be reinstated? That was the question. And so yesterday I went on InfoWars with Alex Jones, and we talked about it briefly, and he was very cynical about it. I said, let's be open-minded. I said, I don't have high hopes either. I said, but it is clear that policy is changing at YouTube, because over the past year, I've seen it firsthand. My clips and videos about me that have been uploaded over the years have all of a sudden started to get recommended again to people on YouTube.
Okay, you see this video here. This is probably one reason why he got knocked off. We're talking about Israel. Look at Israel by TikTok now. Or I guess Larry Ederson, or I guess the guy from Oracle, he's Jewish. I guess. Oh well. Yeah, I mean, hey, I don't know. Somebody can have to tell me. I don't know, but maybe he is. Jewish being there. You keep talking about them, man. They're gonna keep knocking you in the head, man. There's a war going on out here, man. It is what it is. Of course, it's who's gonna win. We want to see who's gonna be the victor at the end. But anyway, let's go.
For many years, if you looked up my name, you would get highly curated results in the search algorithm. For many years, YouTube would just simply not recommend any video about me. They would actually demonetize or terminate channels that had me on their show, where I appeared in their videos. And so clearly something is changing at YouTube. That is real. The question is, how far is it going to go? What's the new policy? When is it going to happen? And so in the spirit of stress testing this announcement, me and Alex Jones last night, we both made new channels. So YouTube said that you had to appeal, and there was this pilot program, and they would reinstate after a review. We said, we'll just make new accounts. Let's just see what happens. So we both made new accounts. I made mine late last night.
Well, that's a mistake they made, because you can't just make a new account, or you can't do anything. When you get banned or whatever, that's it. Until they review you and stuff, it was a process. You just can't do that no more, because a lot of people, abuse the YouTube kindness, you could say. They terminate them, put another channel up, kept continuing doing what they're doing. Everybody did it. So now they put a stop to that. You get terminated of that, can't put another account, you do that, boom, you lose everything. That's it for you. You're out of here. Get banned. If they just didn't put another account up, they would probably be all right now. Just, until they say okay.
I think after midnight, right around when the show finished, and the channel quickly gained tens of thousands of subscribers. I think I got up to little over 30,000 subscribers throughout the night and into the morning. And by noon, the channel was banned. My channel was banned. His channel was banned. And YouTube released a statement about it. This is what they said. They said, quote, "We terminated these channels as it is still against our rules for previously terminated users to start new channels." Mm-hmm. So we're still banned, and we're still banned from making new channels. That hasn't changed. It says the pilot program for terminations that many people are referencing.
But there's one way around it. If you already have channels already created, you can use those. See, he tried to make a channel, and that's how I think Obsidian is on here. And since there was already a channel, she used a sister channel. He already had a channel that was already in existence, or used somebody else's channel. You see what I'm saying? So it was one way around it, but eventually they will catch up to that. I keep telling you this. YouTube ain't stupid. They will catch up with the bullshit y'all do with games you play eventually. Hold on real quick. Let's continue. I'm back.
Thing isn't available yet and will be a limited pilot program to start. We'll have more on how the program will work, who is eligible, and how creators can access it soon. Okay, so it's actually a pilot program, and that a pilot program means it's a test drive. So what exactly does
And the
that...
question is that people say, I remember sitting here saying Rumble's good, this and that, you can make money on there, but they're a lie. Rumble, you don't make as near the money you make on YouTube that you make on Rumble. It's an alternative platform, yeah, but it's not a near, and everybody's not on Rumble. If you can get about 30% of the people get on Rumble, Rumble be in a house. They just need 30, but it's not. You probably got less than 10% of the people that's on YouTube that's on Rumble. I'm talking about fans and stuff, the people that view it. They ain't gonna view it because it's a right wing program, a right wing platform. The money is on YouTube. Why do you think he's hollering and bickering and put this video out? Because they know how much money they made on YouTube when they was monetized. They made buku bucks. They're a millionaire. Come on now. YouTube was acting that. Even Star said that shit the day he was online. Because he talked about this. You want to have a presence on YouTube. You want to stay on YouTube, shit. In some capacity, shit. But anyway, let's continue.
That means, so I suppose everybody is invited to appeal, but they have predetermined which limited accounts will be reinstated. Do I have that right? How exactly is the pilot program going to be run? I suppose they're inviting everybody to appeal, or maybe not. Maybe they'll send an email to specific people. but they have predetermined or are in the process of predetermining who will be reinstated and under what conditions. A limited pre-selected number of people will get their channels back. And depending upon how that goes, maybe then they'll reinstate everybody based on a particular criterion. I think that's the implication. And this is the article about the whole thing. This is from Newsweek. It says, quote, newly created YouTube accounts for the conspiracy theorist Alex Jones and far-right commentator Nick Fuentes were both taken down hours after their creation, despite anticipation that the platform would begin reinstating banned accounts. Many on the right have been expecting a flood of reinstated accounts in the coming days. Representative Jim Jordan.
They read it wrong. They read it wrong. They thought when Google admitted, they banned a lot of the, accounts for because of the, because of what they said about the COVID and stuff, political accounts. They thought they meant all accounts. No, those are the ones that was talking about COVID. It had nothing to do with all the other accounts that was talking about hate speech and all that, or any other type of violation. And they're gonna start the process. So they're gonna be dragging their feet when they said, "Oh, we're gonna start the process." So now YouTube is gonna drag their feet on reinstating those accounts. And some of the people might not be on YouTube. You might not have to. Those accounts might not get reinstated. They probably just terminated their channel, or they just don't want to do it no more. I'm just saying, it's crazy. They must have thought that it was going to reinstate all the right wing accounts that got terminated on you. No, they're not. All those fall under hate speech. Anyway, let's continue.
And the Republican chair of the House Oversight Committee shared a letter earlier this week from YouTube's parent company, Alphabet, which said it would give creators who were banned for repeat violations of COVID and election-related content policies that are no longer in effect the chance to rejoin the platform. Jordan, appearing to overstate the extent of the company's commitments, wrote on X on Tuesday that the change would offer, quote, all creators previously kicked off YouTube for political speech to return to the platform. Jones and Fuentes may not be eligible to rejoin under the program even when it does get going. Jones was taken off YouTube prior to the pandemic in 2018 for violations including hate speech and child endangerment. Mm-hmm. Fuentes was banned in 2020 for hate speech.
Yeah.
YouTube said this week it will be letting some creators taken off site over COVID and election rules be reinstated, although the pilot program hasn't begun yet. Nevertheless, some criticized the move to remove their channel. Trump administration ally Vivek Ramaswamy compared the removals to the temporary suspension of Jimmy Kimmel, who was briefly taken off the air following pressure from the Trump admin and local affiliates. So I fully recognize that YouTube did not announce that they were going to let everybody back onto the platform. Here's the issue. Why are they not letting everybody back on the platform? It seems to me that this is intentional. They want to give the appearance that they have capitulated to the Trump administration. They want to give the appearance that they are recommitting to free speech. But in reality, they have no intention and they do not want to offer that at all. So Jim Jordan goes on Twitter and says they're letting everybody back. No, they're not. They never said they would. They're not going to. What they said is there's going to be a pilot program. They're going to let a few people come back.
See, I think a lot of people read that wrong. A lot of people read what YouTube said about reinstating a lot of ban accounts because of political speech or whatever, or COVID-19. They thought it meant everybody, apparently. No, it didn't mean everybody. It just meant a few, very few. if that's the case. I think that Google is doing this just to save face, actually to, you know, say they're down with the, you can say what's going on with the Charlie Kirk situation and stuff like that. You know, yeah, we have freedom of speech now on here and stuff. And, you know, this BS. This BS. Say some crazy stuff on here and see how quick you get off it. Say something about some small hats or whatever. You see how quick you get off of here. You know, branding some guns and stuff like that, or have some child endangerment videos on here or something. You see how quick you get off of here. Or some pedo stuff. Let's see, you be up out of here quick, real quick. But anyway, let's continue. I'm not gonna play this much of this.
Back later. We don't even know when. We don't even know how. We don't even know who will be let back on, and we don't know if that will ever take off, if they're going to expand that to anybody else or everybody else. The commitment that we have been given is paltry. It's nothing. And this is where the Republican government needs to step in and do more. It has been 10 years since Trump came down the escalator. Trump was president for 4 years. In his first term, he's been president almost for a year now. And let's be very clear about this. These tech companies are afraid of the Trump government. All the media companies are. Why do you think ABC pulled Jimmy Kimmel's show? It's because they require approval from the FCC for a major merger. They're afraid of what the FCC might do to them, to their business dealings, to their licenses. And that is a legacy conventional media company. Social media is no different. And a lot of people don't realize this, but in the first term, throughout Trump's first term, Mark Zuckerberg and all the other heads of the social platforms, they were actively sucking up to the Trump administration. Zuckerberg and many others on the Meta Facebook board, they were working with the Trump administration, and they were deliberately giving the first Trump administration the impression that they were rolling back censorship, even though the entire time they were increasing it. Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg and others on the...
Well, is he right about that? Is he right about that? Because I could say that they're all left or far left. YouTube is far left. So, I mean, how far you think, you know, they're going to reinstate, you know, far right content creators or white nationalist content creators on here? It ain't going to happen. They just find a way around it, you know. Anyway, let's continue.
On the Facebook board, throughout that first term, they were telling the Trump admin, we want to work with you. We want to collaborate on national security. We want to work to get conservative accounts reinstated on the platform. The entire time, they were increasing the censorship. So this is a game between Silicon Valley and Trump. His first administration and his second administration, this is what they always do. The administration holds all the cards. The administration controls the regulatory bodies that regulate not just the social platforms themselves, but also them as businesses. The FCC, the FTC, they govern mergers and acquisitions. They govern antitrust. They govern regulations concerning the airwaves and the internet. Silicon Valley is terrified, like many other companies, of this extremely activist and aggressive administration. And this is why, in the first term and in the second, they're sucking up to Trump. That's what they do. That's what this is. Why do you think Mark Zuckerberg last summer went on a podcast with his gold chain and his t-shirt and his perm and said he was not going to put money into get out the vote for the Democrats like he did in 2020.
They lost. That's why. You got behind Kamala Harris. Ain't nobody gonna put no money behind her no more. Or behind the Democrats because y'all picked the wrong person. You picked the right person, Trump would probably not be in office right now. Anyway, 13 minutes. I'm gonna play a little bit more on that.
Why do you think he rebranded himself as like a libertarian dude, bro? On the 4th of July, he posts a video wakeboarding with the American flag. Why do you think he rebranded? Why do you think all the Silicon Valley guys were at Trump's inauguration? It's because they knew during the election, especially after Trump got shot, that he was going to win. And they knew once he won that Silicon Valley would be in the crosshairs. I would say more specifically, big tech. Not little tech, but big tech. Alphabet, Meta, Amazon, they would be in the crosshair.
So Trump got shot, and that's why he got in. Charlie Kirk got shot and killed. So this has got to be agenda. Pushing this far right agenda, this Christian nationalist agenda. Get all these young people aboard to start something. I'm just saying. Just saying. Let's continue.
By the Trump administration, which would be vengeful, animated, aggressive, looking to regulate, looking to use, like I said, those various agencies and regulatory powers to pursue vengeance against his political enemies. They all know what they did. After January 6th, Trump was banned from all those platforms. Meta banned him from Instagram and Facebook. Alphabet banned him on YouTube. Amazon banned him on Twitch. And so they were terrified, just like they were in the first term. They were even more terrified during last year's election. And then the transition period, because they knew what was coming. They knew Trump was coming in full throttle, I am your vengeance, and was going to bring down the hammer on his enemies for censoring him and his supporters.
Well, that's what he's doing now. He just probably didn't got around to them yet. He's still working on Comey right now. And Etta James. Jeez. He eventually get around to Meta and all of them. Interesting.
So they each made a grand gesture of submission. That's why they stood down and didn't support the Democrats. That's why they all attended the inauguration. That's why they're doing this. They're effectively pleading with the administration, trying to placate and appease it so as not to rouse the ire in the same way that ABC did, for example, with Jimmy Kimmel, or some other companies have. The reason I bring this up is so that we can understand what the policy really is, where it comes from, why they're doing it, and to understand we should not take big tech out of the crosshairs. Just because they kissed the ring, just because they made the trip and they attended the inauguration, just because they made this paltry gesture, they said, well, so first of all, it's September. They're going to do a pilot program later for like some people. Just because they're doing this gesture, do not mistake what this is. We have all the cards. The idea that we would accept the olive branch now that we have all the power, and by we, I mean the right wing in general. Now that we have all the power, Republicans have the House, Senate, White House. Now they want to tell us they're going to let a couple of channels back. Are you kidding me? Here's the point. This Republican government needs to press the advantage. Do not forget that the second Trump was out of power, what did they do? Literally the second that Trump was charged, or impeached rather, that's what that is, an indictment. The moment that Trump was impeached for January 6th, big tech, they didn't even wait until the inauguration of Joe Biden. They started to drop the ban hammer. That's how that works. For 4 years in the first term, they tried to grease Trump's palms. They tried to appease him. They tried to pretend like they were on side. And then the second that he posed no threat to them in the lame duck after he was impeached, Mitch McConnell holding that over his head, the second that he posed no threat to them, they banned him. They banned him, and part of that was to destroy him. Silicon Valley, big tech, tried to destroy Trump. They tried to destroy his base. They banned QAnon. They banned white identitarians. They banned conspiracy theorists. Then they banned election deniers, COVID.
Yeah, the conspiracy theorists, and that's one thing. That's why you'll see the conspiracy channels on here. Now, if they're going to reinstate anybody, I think they should reinstate all the conspiracy channel. Conspiracy channel about the flat earth and stuff, that anything. They got rid of all of them. They couldn't trust them. So that's why I say, is there really freedom of speech? To a certain extent, it seemed like no. And then yes at the same time. If you're just talking what they want to hear, then you have all the freedom of speech in the world. But if you go against the grain and you have a problem, this is what all this is all about. What side are you on at the time? If you're on the wrong side, boom, you're out of here. Maybe it might be better to stay neutral. How long can you stay neutral? Yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna end this. That's enough of that. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate it. Y'all folks can come through and stuff. This cat feed this fool again. He's always doing something. But anyway, I'm out of here. Support the channel, Cash App, if you can, or give me a like. Likes is always good. Anyway, until next time, I see you guys on the other side. Uncle REG signing off.